A lot of people would like to know what it's like to own an electric car in the middle of a brutal winter. I'm talking sub-zero temperatures, lots of snow, very windy. A lot of people are very curious because they don't own an EV, or maybe they do and they're nervous about an upcoming trip, or they've just never driven in the winter. I have over 6 years of experience with a Tesla Model 3, and I can say straight away that it is one of the best cars that I've ever owned in winters. Teslas are extremely popular in the Netherlands and other cold climates. Even though the batteries lose some range in those environments, it is still a very practical car to own and drive. And I'm going to explain exactly why and provide some best tips and practices for owning your electric car in winter. First, my name is John. I'm happy you're here. Welcome to my channel if you're new. I document the progress of Tesla's full self-driving automated features inside of their cars. That is my primary purpose, but I love to share tips and tricks, maintenance, DIY, all sorts of things in between. And this is exactly one of those videos. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button and consider hitting the like button as well. It goes a long way towards supporting me. Let's go ahead and get started. When you are supercharging, you will hear some loud clunking sounds on the battery.
Okay everybody, with it starting to get cold outside, I wanted to make this a little video so everybody knows while you're supercharging, these noises that your Tesla is gonna make, right here. Here it is. Those noises, they're completely normal. Your car is not gonna blow up. Tesla even has it right here on their website. Noises while charging, fan noises, clunking, popping, and thumping noises while supercharging. So remember, it's not smoke, it's steam. It's just popping noises from the battery expanding and contracting.
A lot of people think their car is broken, but those sounds are your friend. That's the battery heating up. There's a lot of thermal management going on underneath. And what happens is there's a metal sheet that's encasing all the battery cells. And that metal sheet is rather long. And what happens is when it heats up, that thing expands, contracts. This is just the nature of owning an electric car, is you're going to have some unusual sounds. They're not going to sound good. I mean, it sounds like a clunk, like something legitimately broke. But that is completely normal. All the cars do it. Don't worry about those clunking sounds. About 3 years ago, I drove maybe 3 or 4 hours. It was 154 miles round trip. I did not have to charge my car even once. Now, I had at peak 100% charge, I had 294 miles on my battery. But I had this trip, it was 3 hours long, 46 degrees Fahrenheit, that's 8 degrees Celsius. And overall for the round trip, it was 17% of range loss that I experienced. So just as an example, I was traveling 154 miles. So I took 294 and I subtracted the 154 and I was like, okay, that's the amount that I'm gonna have when I get back. Well, it was, like I said, 17% below that value. So even while I went in and spent some time at my final destination, I was there for 2 hours. I come out and I lost 3% battery just sitting in the parking lot. Now, why is that? You may ask, why did you lose 3% of your range? That sucks. Well, it's because I had Sentry mode turned on. If you really want to conserve battery, turn that off. However, this just comes with having an electric car in the middle of the winter. You are going to lose some range. Now, how much range? If it's sub-zero temperatures, you're looking at 30 to 35%. I've never heard of 40% loss, but this goes to say, and I can't say it enough, battery is everything. So make sure, if you can afford it, get the long range battery, the longest range battery you possibly can, especially if you live in a colder climate, because you will take a hit in the winters. Now, gas cars also lose range. You can't discount that entirely. How can you improve your range? Well, you first of all should really maximize how much battery charge you have right before you leave. I leave with 100%. That way you're giving yourself the most range possible. Tip number 2, you can use the seat heaters to minimize the energy loss while you're on a longer trip. Be prepared with superchargers. Now, superchargers, they will automatically show up on your route. If you need to stop to charge, the car will tell you. You don't need to plan all of that out in advance. There's a lot of fear around charging and am I going to have enough time to charge? Allocate an extra 10 to 15 minutes. It's going to take longer to charge your battery. There was an article a couple years ago where there was a long line of cars in Chicago and people just couldn't charge their cars and they were freaking out and complaining and saying that the experience was horrible. Well, I can tell you this right away, those people were not prepared. If you're going on a longer trip, just make sure that your battery is at a healthy percentage before you leave and make sure that you're going to be able to get back with enough percentage. You never want to arrive somewhere where there's no charging and have your car at, let's say, 15%. It's just like your phone. When your phone gets to 20% or lower, it changes color. And then when you get to 10% or lower, it changes to a red color. So it's important, same thing with an electric car, make sure that you arrive at an appropriate energy and you have access to charging nearby. You want to really have your car battery at 20% or higher in the winter when you're parking it somewhere. Now, if you're parked for an extended period of time, will you lose a lot of range? No, you will not. However, when you arrived, your battery was warmer, so it's going to show your total range left. And then when you get in your car later, the car is going to be a lot colder, the battery is going to be colder, so that range is going to be reported differently. You just have to be aware of that. Now I have to share a story with you. This is really, really critical that you do this as well. There is a setting. I was traveling and I come up at an intersection and I'm just used to my regen where it just automatically slows down my car. But on this particular day, it was extremely cold. I think it was 0 degrees Fahrenheit, which is below freezing, well below freezing. And my car did not stop in the distance that I thought it would stop. And my car hit the other person in front of me. Now this was New Year's Eve, or it was actually I think it was Christmas Eve, and I was like extremely apologetic. I felt so horrible because obviously it was completely my mistake. It just tapped the other car. There was no damage done. The woman gets out of her car. She was visibly very angry with me. So I was just very apologetic. I should have gotten out of my car, but it was just so cold that day. I rolled down my window and I just put my hands together and I apologized profusely. And I said, I was in a rush. I didn't want to say that, but I was hoping that she'd just kind of say okay, because I knew there was no damage. It was just a tap, a small little tap. Long story short, avoid that at all costs and do that by turning on this setting right here. You can apply the brakes when you stop, and this setting is really nice to have on in the winters in particular. In fact, I leave it on all year long now. It doesn't hurt at all to have it on because that's really going to save you. It's really important to have a consistent stopping distance. Otherwise, you just lose your sense of that in different weather conditions. That is the #1 setting that I would recommend. Another small tip that you may consider is turning the acceleration mode to chill. Now, compared to a gas engine, I started out this video saying that I love having an electric car in the middle of winter, and then I said how bad the battery range is. It's not horrible, you just have to recalibrate yourself to be able to expect that reduced range. But the best feature, the reason why I love owning a Tesla in the middle of winter is because it heats up so quickly. My car defrosts itself. I turn on the heater and literally within 5 minutes it's warm, it's hot in there. A gas engine takes a lot longer to heat up. Now, that's one benefit, and you can do it from your phone. It's very easy to turn on the HVAC from inside a warm area and just have the car heat up all on its own. Now, there are heating elements for the cameras. If you have Sentry mode turned on, for example, it will melt the snow if the snow accumulates on your windshield. But you can, if you're really concerned about your windshield wipers getting damaged, you can set them in service mode. that will kind of flip them up and out of the way. That way you can go out and bang them off. Another thing for winter care is the handles on your car. It's recommended in the maintenance manual to use some WD-40. There's a little spring on the handles and it requires lubrication. Make sure you lubricate those so that your handles are operating at all times. If you have a significant ice storm and you can't access your handles at all, some of the newer cars allow you to open up the doors from within the app. The older cars, I'm not aware of a feature for that. So basically what the manual recommends is you just pound with your fist on the fat portion of the handle, and that will break apart the ice, and then you can get into your car. How about tires on an electric car? There are a lot of rumors, and many of them are true, that electric cars have a different wheelbase and a different center of gravity. The battery pack is very heavy and it's low to the ground. So while it's nice in the summer to make turns really easily, in the winter it adds extra weight, and it can actually be harder to regain control in the case that you slip and lose control. Now, I am an engineer, and I hate to say that I'm above the whole tire thing. I'm not. I appreciate good tires, and I say if you use good tires already and you swap out to winter tires, keep doing what you're doing, because the Tesla is not going to perform significantly differently compared to another car that you may have owned in the past. Some people have a rear-wheel drive Tesla, like I do, and a lot of people will ask questions about that. How's the handling in the winter with rear-wheel drive? I have not had any issues. It performs great for me. Now, there are a couple things that happen if your tires slip. They automatically turn on this traction control. You'll see it on the screen. All-season tires are good tires if you are a winter driver. If you're used to slipping and sliding and taking caution, then you're going to be just fine. Just go slow, just like you would in any other car, and be aware of everybody behind you. I am a lot more concerned about people behind me than I am with people in front of me. Another way to increase your range is make sure you have enough air in your tires. Keep them inflated to a healthy 40 psi or higher in the winter, and you'll get a lot more range out of your battery. And the last thing I'm going to cover is cleaning your car in the winter. So it's a fact that in the winter you have a lot of salt and snow on the roads, and that's not good for the underbody of your car. Now, thankfully with the Tesla, you have a flat underbody and there's no exhaust system, there's no exposed metal underneath there. However, the suspension components are exposed and you will get a lot of salt and stuff inside of there. So if you're anything like me and you have a newer car, you want to keep it clean. And having that salt sitting on your car in a warm garage is probably the worst thing that you can do to your car. So I always, whenever it's even just slightly above freezing, I always wash my car or try to do a rinseless car wash. Now, as part of that, it's important, and I learned this after several years of ownership, to turn on the heat inside of your car. That will expand the seals around the windows so that when you are washing your car, the water doesn't go into the windows. Because what will happen is when it's really cold out, those seals will contract and shrink, and then there will be gaps between the windows. So make sure you heat up your car before you do a car wash. Now, when you first get into your car, when it's freezing temperatures and you step on the brake, you may hear the windows go clunk. They'll all they make a stunning sound inside of your car. And you may be like, oh no, did I just damage something? That's the car kind of adjusting itself just in case there's some frozen components around the windows. But don't be startled, you'll hear that when you first get into your car in freezing cold temperatures. If this was helpful, please give me a like, please subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Also, please feel free to use my referral code down in the description if you're considering picking up a new Tesla yourself. You'll get 3 months of free full self-driving use inside of your new car. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a great holiday season and stay warm out there.